Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another TTC Tuesday video, but this one's a little bit different. I am going to break up my journey with videos like this where I just sit down and casually talk to you guys about certain topics that I feel need to be addressed. This is actually the second time filming this. I filmed it one time months and months ago, and I just feel like there's a few things that I want to add in there or say differently, because obviously these are such touchy subjects and I just don't want to say things wrong or offend people, but I want to get the message out there as well. So today I want to talk about two different things. So the pressures of trying to conceive or trying to get pregnant, and also what not to say to someone trying to conceive. So let's talk about pressure first. I am very familiar with the pressures of trying to conceive. Dean and I have been trying for over 14 months now to conceive. There's definitely a lot of pressure that I know that I put on myself. Let's backtrack. Even from early in our relationship, perhaps even before we got engaged, there would be, I can't remember a specific incident, but I know that people would ask about having kids and, starting a family, and obviously then we got engaged and then we got married, and, the questions were coming in a lot more, and, I didn't really know how to handle it. I know when I was younger, I didn't want kids. I didn't like them at all. And I knew that in time my feelings would change, but I know for such a long time I didn't want them and I wasn't ready for them. I didn't feel that I had that maternal instinct, and people would ask, they just ask like it's so vanilla kind of thing, like it's just like, oh, how's the weather today? Oh, when are you having kids? And I feel like people perhaps don't realize how much that can affect someone. For me, it's affected me in different ways at different times of my life. See, back then, even just a few years ago, when people would ask, I would get just very uptight about it. You know what? I'd get pissed off about it, because I would just think it's none of your business. Why are you asking? When we have kids, when we're ready, you'll know, because we'll tell people that we're pregnant. It's none of your business. Just even them asking would make me feel pressure, would make me think, is what I'm doing, what I'm living my life, like trying to set up a career, is that not good enough? Like, why do people feel like they want more? And not necessarily that these people even look that deep into why they're asking, when are you having kids? Because they probably don't. But from someone on the receiving end of that question, it's a very personal question. I think that if we can all think twice about before we ask something, and the way we ask something or bring up a topic like kids, I think that there's a lot that people as society in general can learn from being on YouTube. I think 6 years now. Is it 6 years? I don't even know. Being on here for so long, I used to get questions all the time about, when are you having a kid? You'd look really cute with a kid. You'd be the best mum. When are you having babies? I remember that there was a specific Q&A that Dean and I did on our Catching Up with the Conte's channel, and I just shut it down. I'm just like, please don't ask. You don't know what anyone's going through. When we're ready to tell you, we will. I am so grateful that so many of my subscribers, my followers, I'm so grateful that you guys have been really respectful in giving me my time, because not only time to mentally prepare to have a family, but time in my career, time in just my life in general. And I know that there have been a few comments, and I've known that there's a few people that stick up for me and say, Crystal's asked that you don't ask this. And I appreciate that so much. It's definitely a respect thing, and I appreciate that. I was receiving real life questions, I was receiving questions online, and I know a lot of you can relate. Pressure from family members. It can be, like, thinking back to it, it's actually really hurtful, some of the way that some of the things that have been said to me, some of the things that have been done. I don't even know how to say this without even upsetting anyone. Not that they're even probably going to watch this video. When there's a Facebook post asking for grandchildren, and I say, isn't Coco enough? And then someone points the finger at us and says, Dean and Crystal will have one long before us. And that hasn't been the case. It hasn't been the case. You look back on things like that which was probably quite seemingly an innocent post. But you look back on things like that and you think, how do you have the right to say when we are going to have kids? Not only like when we're ready, but also we've already spent 14 months trying to have one and it hasn't happened. So I think before you point the finger at your sister or your sister-in-law, your cousin, your niece, your daughter, please think before you do that. Please think before you even mention it, because you don't know. You can't take back those words once they're said. And you don't know how much pressure that puts on that individual. You like literally have no idea. So over the years, I guess I've been quite vocal in saying, please don't ask about children, which has, I would like to think it has helped me in the long run, because people don't ask me because they know that I get upset about it. Right now, if people were to ask me, I would get upset for a different reason, which I'm okay with people not asking me. There have been a few moments that have caught me off guard where I have been asked and we've been trying unsuccessfully. There was one incident in particular that I didn't handle very well at all. We were out at an engagement party and there were quite a few girls in the bathroom, and one of them was pregnant, and then another one asked me, also, when are you having kids? And it just caught me off guard, and I said, I don't want to talk about it. And then it just made everything really awkward, and I know that I could have handled it differently, and I wish that I did, because I didn't want to make anyone feel awkward. But it actually made me so upset, and I was trying to have a good night. I was trying to forget about everything. Just, you know, live in the moment and not be on the couch thinking about trying to get pregnant and the fact that I'm not. It was a really hard moment for me. The other girls in the bathroom could see straight away that I was upset, and everyone just tried to shut it down. And the girl who asked me, she actually came up to me later and apologized, and she said, I'm so sorry I asked, it's none of my business and I'm really sorry, which I do really appreciate. And the other girls did check on me later on in the night, because I guess they knew. So hard to know how you're going to react when someone asks you. It does get a bit better, because since then I've learned to say something like, oh, you know, like when we're blessed enough, we'll get one, we'll have a baby when we're blessed, when it's our time. Although that might not be the answer that I want to say, the answer that's in my heart, it's something that gets the conversation going and I'm out. It's quick and easy and it's done. It can just be a very tough conversation to be able to handle, and especially if you are trying, and you know, like I've just been trying. I haven't had any miscarriages. I haven't even got pregnant, let alone so many of you suffer in silence through several miscarriages. And I just think if we could all be a bit more mindful about how we ask, and not necessarily saying, when are you having kids? We actually had a group of friends over, and they brought their children. She was talking about her children, and she said, oh, I don't know if you're planning on having kids. And I said, oh yeah, we are, which, you know, I didn't go into it. I just said, yeah, one day. And then, you know, then she continued the conversation, but it wasn't a flat out like, are you having kids? I think that kind of situation was a great way to bring it up, because she was already talking about her own kids, which kind of like took the conversation, picked it up, and then took it off. And she may not have necessarily been fishing for that information at all. I don't think that she even was, but it was a really kind way to ask. You know, like it was just harmless, if you know what I mean. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm perfect, because I know that I've said things that are wrong. I know I've been at fault, and there's things that I shouldn't have said. There's one circumstance that I can think of in particular where I just like literally want to just hide, because what I said was just so fucking dumb. So I went to a friend's birthday, and her sister-in-law was there, pregnant with her second child. This woman, she's so beautiful. I believe that she is like a primary school teacher, and she's so good with kids. Like I can just naturally see her having quite a few kids, having a large family, because I know that she's such a good mum. Like, I don't even know her that well, but like it's so funny how you can just picture someone being a mum. I know that that goes against everything that I've said, but like this girl she's so beautiful. And she was there probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 months pregnant with her second. I asked her, so when are you having your next one? And she looked at me and she smiled and she said, well, we've got to get this one out first. But can you imagine? Like, why would I say that? Like, that is so rude, Crystal. That is so rude. And I guess, you know, it's not something that you're gonna understand until you've been through, which is why I'm making this video, because I want you to understand whether or not you've been through it, or you know someone going through it, so that you know the kind of things to say, not to say, and the pressure that someone is under, whether they're trying to have a baby or they're not trying to have a baby. The pressure that it puts on that person is just, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so hard, and some people don't want to have kids at all, and they would get so sick. Like, I used to work with a lady who, she doesn't want kids, and she deals with questions like pretty well, and you know, I really do admire her, because she gets a lot of questions about it, and you know, like, oh, do you regret it and everything, and it's just like, why are you asking that? You don't need to ask her that. Like, she's made a life choice. It's her life, it's her decision. But even that would put pressure on herself, and it's just like, she's made a decision. You don't need to put self-doubt in her mind. Like, it's done. Like, she's not having children. And then there's the pressure that I put on myself, and I watch a lot of TTC videos, and I see the pressure that these beautiful women, these beautiful brave women who are putting their story out there, and I can see the pressure that we all put on ourselves. I know it's not healthy, but on the other hand, I don't know what else to do to help, if you get what I mean. Because it's not something that you can just sit back and say, yeah, like, it'll happen when it happens. You can't do that, because in your mind you're thinking you get 12 chances a year to get pregnant, and each month that goes by just adds on to that year, and it's heartbreaking because you've got to wait a whole nother month to try again. Maybe not a whole nother month by the time you find out that you're not pregnant, but you know, there's a good couple of weeks, and you know, that's even if you get a good chance that next month. For someone in my position, I know the problem is within me. It's my body. We've had Dean's sperm tested and it's fine, and I know that the problem is within me, and it's just like, you just put so much pressure on yourself that you just kind of combust, and you can't function doing normal things in life. Like, it's so hard to try and keep that all together because of all of the pressure and stress and everything. But I don't have the answer. I don't have the secret to get out of that. I don't. But I want you as an outsider to understand that there's already so much pressure on myself. Like, I can't take a lot. I can't take a lot of stress. I can't take arguments. I need my life to be like pretty all good, all round good, for me to be able to live in this life, if you get what I mean. Like, to be able to cope with things. I can't handle a lot going on right now. I don't want to I can't take on people's problems. I can't be that friend sometimes that people need. Like, if there's too much drama, I'm out, see ya. I can't do it right now. I can barely deal with what is on my plate at the moment. So if you do have a friend going through something like this, please just be patient. Please just be there for them. You don't necessarily need to say, how's it going? How was your appointment? You just need to say, how are you going? Let's catch up for a coffee. Let me come and visit you. I think, you know, for me, like, my home is my safe place. You know, I can cry here, I can laugh here, I'm safe here. I feel most comfortable here, as does everyone. But like, in a tough time, your home is just your sanctuary. You know, to have visitors is a really nice thing. So if you do have someone going through this, offer to be there for them. And I know throughout my time, I've had so many people say, if you need to talk, like, I'm here for you. But it's not always like, oh, hey, like, I'm having a shit day, I'm gonna go talk to this random person. It doesn't happen like that. it doesn't happen at all. And I'm not the kind of person to put my hand up and say, hey, I'm having a shit day, to even my close friends. Like, I will most likely have a couple days off and come back and be like, I'm really sorry, I was just struggling a lot. So like, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, kind of thing. Everyone is different in this situation. This is just me speaking from my own personal experience, that I have a lot on my plate, and you know, I'm not always going to be the best person, the best friend, the best wife. Just keep in mind that we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. I'm not saying it's okay, I'm just saying what it is. The next thing that I want to talk about, which is kind of what I've touched on, is what not to say. I have got so many bloody comments of people saying things that people have said to them that have just been actually fucking awful. Like, I'm not even gonna try and sugarcoat it. You know, from someone who has not had any trouble with trying to conceive, from someone who doesn't want kids, I suppose it may be hard to understand, which is why I told the story that I did before, like how I said, oh, when are you having your next one? Like, just really dumb, Crystal, like I can't believe I said that. So I just wanted to kind of jump on and say, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't say. I did touch on this in my very first TTC episode, and I said, I'm gonna cover this whole topic, but a few things that I don't wanna hear are stop stressing, just relax, and go on a holiday, and it'll happen when it's meant to be. They are the top three. I'm gonna put it out there and say that they are the top three things that are widely said. I guess, you know, they're again very vanilla things to say when you come across someone and you don't really know what to say. Oh, it'll happen when it's meant to be. It's just like, I'm gonna break them down. Number one, stop stressing, just relax. Any of you who have been in this situation will know how impossible that is. We have our good days, we have a lot of bad days, and as I was saying before, you get 12 chances a year, and those chances go by like that. And every month you're waiting, and you're just, especially in the 2-week wait, like you are just a stress ball, you're an anxious ball of mess. Like, it's awful. You can't help but symptom spot, and like, it is so stressful. Like, you would have seen in some of my previous episodes where I am in that 2-week wait period, I'm like going insane, like literally insane. You're tracking everything, you're trying to be on top of everything, and it's impossible to let it go because it's something that you want so bad. You just want to get pregnant, you want to have that baby, you want to get to that next stage of your life. I know from my experience, like, it's hard to move on with your life until you are, and it's not something that I've even figured out yet how to do that after 14 months. Obviously you have some good weeks, some bad weeks, days, months, whatever, but overall there is not a day where I don't think about it. I think about it every day, and it saddens me every day that I'm not pregnant, every single day. So don't tell me not to stress, because I wish I could not stress. I wish that I could just live my life carefree and not worry about getting pregnant, which is what I did for the first 6 months of trying. And then when I hit that 6 months, I became an anxious, depressed ball of mess. I know that there's going to be so many of you that can relate to that. There is a point in your journey where you realize it's not happening, and then you are so worried. It's honestly like a switch just flicks, and you're just like, well, shit, something's wrong with me. What is going on? You know, like, a lot of people are lucky and then they seek treatment and they get pregnant really soon after. And then there's people like me who have sought treatment and it doesn't work. And then of course, you know, trying treatments, that is stressful in itself. For me personally, I was taking letrozole, which is a hormone. It just makes you go crazy. And for me personally, coming off the pill, my hormones were all out of control. Like, so out of control that I was up and down, and mostly down, and then days where I just could not stop crying. Like, literally, I couldn't stop crying for days. Like, I would just sit there with the TV on and just cry my heart out. So So please don't tell someone who's trying to conceive not to stress, because we wish we could stop stressing. It's not something that we're able to do. Okay, so the next one is go on a holiday, or stop trying, or go on a holiday, that kind of thing. They're kind of different things, but go on a holiday, like, oh man. Look, I will be honest and say that, you know, little getaways and things like that, like, they do help, they do distract you, and they are great. However, not everyone is in a financial position or any kind of position to just pick up and go on a holiday. And please understand that for so many reasons, people might not want to go on a holiday. So don't, I know this is going to sound harsh, but don't tell them what to do with their life. If they want to go on a holiday, when they're ready to go on a holiday, they will book that holiday and they will go. But they don't need that added pressure of you saying, go on a holiday, take a break, stop stressing. They don't need that. Which brings me to the next point, the stop thinking about it, stop trying, or, you know, and so many people have said, oh, you know, I stopped trying and then we got pregnant. But did you really stop trying? Because if you stopped trying, I'm pretty sure you would, I don't know. For me, I can't just switch that off. I can't. Like, for me, I would still be tracking my ovulation and making sure that we have intercourse at the right time. And that would just never leave my heart, because in my heart, I know that I want a baby. I wouldn't be able to stop trying. Again, another thing, don't tell people what to do. Like, their journey is their own journey, and they're going to live it the way they want to live it, or the only way that they know how. And whether that is being stressed, not going on a holiday, and keep on trying, that's what they're going to do. I know that you're just trying to be helpful by offering this advice, but the advice that you're offering can do more damage than good. I got a DM from someone, and she said that the worst possible thing was that because we fell so early the first time with our son, we had false hope that it would happen every month for a long time before we decided to get help. At least you can fall pregnant, people would say. They didn't have to go through losing a 15-week-old fetus and miscarriage after miscarriage. And she said, please add this to your what not to say. I think that that's a really important topic to cover, because, you know, like, someone in my position, I could easily say to someone, well, at least you can fall pregnant. I haven't fallen pregnant at all. I guess, you know, that's a statement that should just not be said at all, because that hurts someone more than you can imagine. Yes, they can fall pregnant, but how many miscarriages have you had? How many angel babies have you had in your journey? Because for me, the struggle with, like, even just a 2-week wait is, like, you get this notion in your head and you think, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And then all the ideas and dreams and pictures unfold in your mind, and you build up this life, this baby, this little person, you build them up in your head. And then when it's not there, even though, like, you're not pregnant at all, you grieve that. Let alone if you do actually fall pregnant and then you miscarry. Like, you're already deep into that dream, deep into those thoughts of planning out this baby's future. You've looked up your 12-week date, and you know when you can announce it to your friends and family. You've looked up the due date and said, oh, it's going to be a spring baby. Like, you've looked up these things. You have all these hopes and dreams, and then you lose it. Like, you've lost. Like, I can't even comprehend what you've lost. For someone to say, at least you can fall pregnant, like, I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine. I can't sit here and say that I've lived that life, because I haven't. But I want to spread awareness and for you to know how much that does actually hurt. I know I did see a comment from someone saying their sister-in-law said to them after she had her baby, was that after she had her baby or she was still pregnant? And she said, oh, that's okay, you can come and hold my baby whenever you like. Just no, hun, just no. Like, that I cannot imagine. Like I can't imagine, because if someone said that to me, like, I would not be able to hold back. Like, I'm not even kidding. Some people literally have no idea, and it frustrates me. Like, I know that you're trying to be nice, however, some things are just better left unsaid than saying it. Like, if you're not sure what to say, just don't say anything, or let that person do the talking. There are so many things. There are literally so many things that I could just say. So I guess with what not to say, you know, there are quite a lot of, there's a wide array of things what not to say. I know one time I had a conversation with someone and I was telling her how sick my friend's baby was because of a genetic disease. And my friend who had the baby, she was, I think she was close to 40 when she had her, and she was her second baby. And I was telling her about how sick she is, and you know, she has this disease. And then this person says to me, see, that's why you shouldn't wait too long to have babies, because you never know what's going to go wrong. And I said, it's a genetic disease. This was before we were even trying, by the way. This is just another one of those pressure moments. And it just honestly, like, another thing is when people say, and I know that all these people are just trying to be helpful or trying to guide you or whatever, but you know, there's people that say, well, what do you expect? You were on the pill for 15 years. I can't go back in time and change that decision. I'm here right now on my journey, whether or not I was on the pill. Like, do you think that I can just dip back 15 years and say, actually, no, I'm not going to take that pill? I'm just not. It doesn't help any situation. While I can say from my experience, if I had my time again, I probably wouldn't go on the pill, but it is what it is. And, you know, for so long, it did help me control so many things in my life. My period, my hormones, it did help me control a lot of things, which I am grateful for. However, everyone's body is so different and it reacts differently to everything. Some people can come off the pill and get pregnant straight away. And then there's some people that, like myself, who I guess my cycle must not have figured itself out when I was 15, and it's still trying to figure itself out now that I'm off the pill. It's a really hard topic, and I know everyone's different and everyone's situation is different, but if I can help people be more aware of what the pill can perhaps do to your body, and I'm not telling you please go off the pill because you don't know if you can get pregnant or not. I guess I just want you to know to make more informed decisions about how something you take every day is going to affect your body. Please make sure that your body is in working order, I guess. I've had a few people comment and say, thank you so much, I'm going to go and get checked out. I'm not looking at having kids right now, but I want to make sure that I'm okay in the future. And that's such a good thing. But like, contraception is a real big thing. And there are other ways around it apart from the pill, definitely, for sure. And although every way may not be 100% accurate with or 100% foolproof, whatever, you know, there are other ways than the pill. And you know, I guess I just want to make it known that the pill can really mess with your body, mess with your hormones. Yeah, like, our bodies are meant to function a certain way for a reason, and just keep that in mind. Oh, I didn't touch on the it'll happen when it's gonna happen. That is just the worst. Like, it'll happen when it's meant to be. Like, please don't say that to anyone. Like, and I know that there's like a part in this series that's going to come up when, and I've shown a preview of it, when someone said to me, like, it'll happen soon for you, you'll get a little girl soon. And that you don't know. Like, don't say those things. Like, you literally don't know. I might not ever have a girl, let alone I might not ever have a baby. You don't know this. I know you're trying to be positive, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, please don't try and predict someone's future by saying, you know, it'll happen soon. I've had a few people say to me, like, I know that they just mean the best. And there was someone that said to me last year, oh, I can just see it by December, you'll be pregnant. I wasn't. Like, I mean, back on the pressure topic, there was someone that said to me like, oh, I can see you've got a soul coming, it's coming close and it's gonna happen soon. And oh, my friend told me the same thing. That was when we weren't ready to have a baby. So it was just like, okay, well, if someone else can see it soon, that can predict the future, like, I am just going to be extra careful. And you know, it just made me think that I could get pregnant easy. So if you have those feelings like you want to say to someone, please don't say them, because you don't know how quick or how long someone's journey is going to be to get pregnant. The last thing that they need is false hope. Like, it's all these little things that add up that give you the perception of what is going to happen. And you know, a little comment like that made me think, I can get pregnant easy. And then there's other comments, the pressure comments, that made me think, and this may just be me, but they made me think, can you just back off? Now you're gonna have to wait another year until I have a baby. Like, you know, like, I just got so bitter about it that I'm just like, no, we're gonna have one when we're ready, and the more you keep pushing, the further away it's gonna be. I don't know if I'm alone in feeling this way. I just want this series to be so raw and honest. Just little things like that can really change how you feel and how you act and what you do. Like, while I want to be open about talking about trying to conceive, there are so many things that are just not okay to say. It's easy to say what not to say, but what do you say? I think if you were to talk to someone who's trying to conceive, they need to bring it up on their playing field. There are certain ways that you can bring it up if you want to bring it up, but just remember, it's not really any of your business. It's no one's business apart from mine and my husband's about when we're going to have the baby and when we feel like we're ready as a family. You've got to take into context the different layers of their life, their career, their personal, their friendship groups, where they live, their financial situation, because they're everything that we take into account before we know or we feel that we're ready. I remember when I was ready to have a baby. I don't know if I've talked about this on this series yet, but I do remember, and it was when Dean was away on a camping trip, and it was actually coming up 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was ready to have a baby, and I know he was away, and I called him, and I was in the bedroom of our rental, and I said, I'm ready to have a baby. And like, he'd been ready for quite some time, but like, I knew at that stage, like, if we were to get pregnant, like, it would be good. It would be a good thing. I wouldn't be scared. The reason why we didn't try for a baby then and there is because I was scared of being in the rental. I didn't want to have a baby when we didn't have a house. This house was probably like a year away from being finished. Then when we moved in, I was cutting my hours at work, and I wanted to see how that went with my career and everything. And then my birthday came up, so I had a 30th, and this is so silly. I was thinking, like, I don't want to be pregnant for my 30th because I want to drink and have a good time. And in the long scheme of things, it's just like, Crystal, that doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. I had a beautiful birthday. I had the best birthday. It was so amazing. But, you know, it's just like, if we started to try to have a baby, like when we moved into this house, we could have already had one by now. Like, if I had to wait however long, or, you know, I could have gone off the pill at that stage. These things obviously you can't change, but it's just like, I've been ready to have a baby for 3 years now. And when you put it like that, it's just like, that's a long time. Okay, so to summarize this video, I know that there's just been a lot of me just sitting and talking because that's what this is. I brought up a lot of points. I'm really sorry if I've upset anyone, but please keep in mind, like, it's such a sensitive topic. It's very close to people's hearts. It's not a great topic to talk about and open up about. It's very, very difficult. please keep in mind the pressure that people receive when you ask them things or when you make a statement, wherever they are in their journey, whether they're trying, whether they've lost a baby, whether they don't want children. It's all relevant. And I think if we can be a little bit more kind with how to ask, as I said before, I don't have all the answers. Maybe just try not to ask people. Try and not treat it as such a vanilla question like how's the weather, because it's people's lives and it's their journeys and it's none of your business. I do want to quickly touch on, I will have a full episode of talking about TTC jealousy and things like that, but if you are someone who is pregnant and you, or have fallen pregnant while you have a friend that is trying, or you know someone that is trying, please just be patient with them. I know personally I've really withdrawn from some pregnant people within my life because it just hurts. For lack of a better term, like it just hurts. It hurts and it's triggering as well. So please just be patient with them. And you know, I know that I had a comment saying, you know, I was really close friends with someone and we got pregnant at the same time and she lost hers, or it was something along those lines, and then they didn't talk again, and she was just really confused, and she later found out that this person was saying that she was throwing her pregnancy in her face and things like that. It's such a hard thing, because I don't want to see someone that's pregnant or, you know, has a baby, because I know how much it upsets me. So I think if you can just give them their time, you can check in on them, but please just be understanding of what they're going through. You may have yourself been through a TTC journey. Just be patient with them, and you know, if you're meant to be in each other's lives, then you'll come back together at some point. But also remember that friends can just be for a season. They don't need to be for a lifetime, and friends come and go with your life. So don't think that all is lost because you're not friends with someone anymore or you're not in their life, because I guess if you're meant to come back together, you will. You'll have that common ground that will always bring you back together. So I've talked enough for today. I hope that this has taught you and opened up your eyes to a few things. But yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I know that we would never work. I know that someone would get hurt.